name's Dave and welcome to another Guitars Ready Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Rockin Around The Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee, which is a Christmas classic. Now for the basics of this song, you will need a capo on the first fret of your guitar in order to play this in the same key as the studio recording. In this lesson, I'll teach you all the rhythm guitar, but I'll also teach you how to play the saxophone solo on the guitar too. Now, by the way, if you are new to guitar and you're looking for some quick, easy wins, then I've created a guide with the 10 best songs that you can play with 3 chords or less. This is perfect for building confidence and actually enjoying the process of learning guitar. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And alternatively, if you're looking for a step-by-step course, then look no further than the Guitars Ready Hero Premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. All right, let's start with the intro. There's just 4 chords here. We're going to start with the G chord. I'm going to play a 4-finger G chord like this. So middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, index on the 2nd fret of the 5th, and ring and pinkies on the 3rd frets of the 2nd and 1st strings. You could also play the 3-finger variation of that, and I'll be using that, but for this intro, I'll use the 4-finger G, and then we go to an E minor. So index and middle finger on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th string. We have a C chord, and then finally a D7. So keep your index finger where it is from that C chord. Just move your middle and ring finger to the 2nd frets of the 3rd and 1st string. And we strum from the 4th string onwards there. If you happen to hit the 5th string, that's okay, but we definitely don't want the 6th string ringing out with a D7 chord. So you can lightly mute that 6th string with your thumb reaching over the top to touch that 6th string. In terms of strumming, I have a suggested pattern down below. It just goes like this: down, up, down, up, down, up. Or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up. We can just play that once for each chord and the intro will simply sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, one other thing to note about this strumming pattern is there's a bit of a swing feel to it. Now, what that means is that the down strums are held out a tiny bit longer than the up strums. So down, up, down, up. Notice how there's a bit more of a lean towards the down strums, and the up strums are quite quick. Down, up, down, up. Next, we get to verse number 1. I'm going to play a G chord, but using this 3-finger variation because that will make it easier for us to transition to the D7, which we have in the 3rd bar. So 2 bars of G, and then we go to our D7 for 2 bars, and that's the first line of chords. For the second line of chords, it's D7 for another 3 bars, and then back to G for 1 more bar. So the simplest way of playing the verse sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And those 2 lines of chords are played through twice. Now, here's one little variation we can add to the second line of chords to make things sound a little bit more interesting. So with the 3 bars of D7, what we can do is lift our ring finger from that D7 on the first 3 strums. So down, up. Right, so on that up strum, we go back to a regular D7. We're just lifting our ring finger for the first 3 strums. Down, up, down, up. We play that for the 3 bars of D7 in the second line, and that will sound like this for the second line of chords. So in total, with that little variation, the verse could sound like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Okay, let's get to the chorus. So the chorus has 2 lines of chords, and we start off with a C chord for 2 bars of music, and then to a B minor. All right. So to play a B minor, index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string relative to the capo, ring and pinky fingers on the 4th frets of the 4th and 3rd, and middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We can just focus on those middle 4 strings. If you want, you can also bar your index finger so that your index finger is fretting down the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Completely up to you. You can just focus on the middle 4 strings. Alternatively, if that is really too difficult for you to get that B minor bar, you can try B minor 7, which looks like this. So index and middle on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 3rd, and then ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and just focus on the middle 4 strings. The full B minor sounds better though. So B minor for 2 more bars. So the first line of chords. Then for the second line of chords, we have an E minor to E minor major 7. So with our E minor, we'll play it with our middle and ring finger on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th. To go down to E minor major 7, just lift your ring finger and have your index finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string. Right? Now for this bar of music, we're just going to do a continuous down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and change on the 3 beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to an E minor 7. So lift your index finger. So it's just your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string now. And we return back to our regular strumming pattern. For the 3rd bar, we then go to an A7. So move your middle finger down to the 2nd fret of the 4th and ring finger 2nd fret of the 2nd string. We're gonna strum that and then put your palm down on the strings to mute everything. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... For the final bar, we can either play a D7 for a regular strumming pattern. So down, up, down, up, down, up. Or we can play a riff. But first, let me play the second line of chords with the D7. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, instead of the D7, we could play a little lick that goes like this. So 5th fret of the 5th string, then 4th, then 3rd, and then 5th fret of the 6th string. All on the beat. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... That's what I'm going to play in the playthrough, but alternatively, you could just play a D7. So that's the chorus in total, which will sound like this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next we get to verse 2 / the solo. Now rhythmically it's the same as verse 1, except this chord progression is played through 3 times. The progression is played through, there's singing there, that's the verse, and then the next 2 times you play the progression, that's the rhythm guitar for the saxophone solo. I'll teach you a way of playing that saxophone solo on the guitar later in this video. So after the solo section, we then get back to another chorus, which is the same as the first chorus. So nothing new to learn there. And then there's the final verse. The final verse is a little different to the other verses. The first 6 bars are the same. So the G for 2 bars, D for the next 4 bars. But then we have a little riff that covers the next 2 bars, or the last 2 bars of this verse. Now the simplest way of playing this is to just really hit the notes on the 4th string, on the 1 and the 3 beat. So pluck the open 4th string on the 1 beat, and then you can just drop your hand on to mute it on the 2 beat. So 1, 2, and on the 3 beat, we go to the 1st fret, and then drop your hand on the 4 beat. Then go up another fret to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. On the next 1 beat, drop on the 2 beat, and then up to the 4th fret on the 3 beat. All right, so this is the easiest way of playing it, but I'll include some extra notes in a moment. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So the second line of chords with the easy version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the slightly more difficult version, which sounds better, is like this. So we have all the same bass notes on that 4th string. So we start with the open 5th string, and we're going to take our ring and middle finger and put it on the 4th fret of the 3rd and 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So we're going to hit those 2 strings on the 2 beats. So 1 and 2, and for the 3 beat, we hit that 1st fret of the 4th string, but then with our ring and pinky finger, 3rd fret of the 3rd string and 4th fret of the 2nd string. So 3 and 4, and for the next bar, we shift this entire shape up 2nd fret, and then 4th and 5th frets with our ring and pinky. So 1 and 2, and then with our ring finger up to the 4th fret of the 4th string, and with your index and middle finger, 3rd fret of the 2nd and 2nd fret of the 1st string. We hit those 2 notes together on the 4 beat. So 3 and 4, and the 2 bars in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the verse in total with that more complicated riff. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Finally, there's the outro. We go back to our G, and I'm going to play the 4-finger G there, E minor, and then for this 3rd bar, C to A minor 7. So we just lift our ring finger from that C. Those 2 chords are within 1 bar, and we're just going to continuously play down, up, and on the 3 beat change. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and back to our G with a down, down, up, and we just end on that up strum. So the outro. Alright, now I'll teach you how to play the saxophone solo, but on the guitar. Now you don't necessarily need a capo for this, but since we already have the capo on for the chords, I'm just going to leave the capo on. Everything you see in the tab below is relative to capo on 1st fret. If you were playing this without the capo, you could do so, but just everything in the tab below would need to be up 1 fret. So we're going to start with our ring finger on the 7th fret of the 3rd string relative to the capo, and the 5th fret of the 2nd string, 6th, and then 8th, and finally up to the 5th fret of the 1st string. So it's a 5-note run, and this starts on the 2 beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we go to the 8th fret of the 2nd string relative to the capo. Alright, so hit that. And the next hit is on the end beat after the 2. So 1 and 2 and then on the end beat after 4 as well. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the next bar, we don't play anything on the 1 beat. On the end beat after the 1, we're going to hit this 8th fret 3 times. And 1 and 7th fret of the 1st string twice, down to 5th, and then finally 8th fret of the 2nd string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then shift down to the 7th fret on the 1 and 3 beat of this bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and for the final bar, we pluck the 7th fret of the 2nd string again on the 1 beat. 1 and 2. On the end beat, we go down to 5th fret, and then 7th fret of the 3rd string. So 1 and 2 and 3, and on the 4 end, we're going 5th and back up to 7th on the 3rd string. So the final bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and total the first line of tab. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. For the second line of tab, we're going to go up to the 7th fret of the 1st string relative to the capo, but I play this with my pinky finger. Pluck that twice, then down to 5th, and then 7th fret of the 2nd string. So 4 notes there, 1 and 2 and on the end beat after 3, we're going to go to the 7th fret of the 4th string, 5th fret of the 3rd, and up to 7th, right? So and 4 and the bar in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The next bar is the same, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the 3rd bar, we go to 7th fret of the 2nd string with our pinky twice, then down to 5th, hold that out for 1 beat, and then on the 3 beat, it's 7th fret of the 3rd, up to the 5th fret of the 2nd, and then end on the 8th fret on the end beat after the 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that 8th fret note's held out into the next bar. On the 2 beat of the final bar, we go 7th fret, 5th, 8th fret of the 2nd, 5th fret, and then 7th, and up to 5th. Alright, so that's a 6-note run, which starts on the 2 beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so the second line of tab in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the third line of tab, we go to the 8th fret. Now on the end beat after the 2, we'll go 7th fret of the 3rd string, then up to 7th fret of the 1st string with your middle and ring, then down to 5th, and then end on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the next bar, let's break this up into 2 halves. We'll go 7th fret of the 2nd string, 5th, and then 8th fret of the 2nd string. So 1 and 2 and. And then for the second half, 7th fret of the 3rd string, 8th fret of the 2nd, and down to the 7th fret. So 3 and 4 and the bar in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the 3rd bar, hit that 7th fret again. On the 2 beat, 5th fret, 3 beat, 7th fret of the 3rd string. On the 4 beat, down to the 7th fret of the 4th string, and then 5th fret, and end on the 4th fret of the 4th string, which takes us to the 4th bar. So that bar in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. On the 4 beat of this final bar, we go back up to the 7th fret of the 1st string with our pinky, and then down to 5th. So 4 and then 7th fret of the 2nd string, which takes us to the 4th line of tab. So those 3 notes, 4 and 1 and 2. So taking it back to the start of the 3rd line of tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Okay, so for the 4th line of tab, we start off with that 7th fret of the 2nd string. And on the 3 beat, 7th fret of the 1st string with a pinky, down to 5th, and then 7th fret of the 2nd. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. For the 2nd bar, on the 2 beat, we start back up the 7th fret of the 1st string, pluck that, down to 5th, 7th fret of the 2nd string with your pinky, and then 7th fret of the 3rd string with your ring. Down to 4th fret, back up to 7th. Alright, so 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then for the 3rd bar, with your pinky, 7th fret of the 2nd string, twice, down to 5th, hold that out for a beat, 7th fret of the 3rd string, 5th fret of the 2nd, 7th, and then 8th. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then finally on the end beat after the 2, we're going to hit it one more time, which is in the final bar. So the 4th line of tab in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 And the solo in total will sound like this. And that's everything you need to know for this lovely tune. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song with a vocal track on top for some context. Again, if you're new to guitar and you're looking for some quick and easy wins, I've created a guide of the 10 best songs you can play with 3 chords or less. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Rockin' around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple wants to stop. Rockin' around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in a new old-fashioned way. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in a new old-fashioned way.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.